It's a 2-0 home win, and that's in stark contrast to some of the entertainment in terms of it was possibly quite sticky, turgid, at times quite dull football, but that's what we've got. It's winter football. The pitch is really difficult to play on. We were very disciplined with what we did, and it was all about the result, and that's where we currently find our focus and our priorities is the results. So the result was fabulous. But we did what we had to do. We defended really well in the first half when they had their moment. I think it was just a really good night for us.
I was going to mention that first half, sticky pitch you said, but also there was some sticky moments for you when they were with that, especially their wing backs pinning you back quite a lot, but you dealt with it well. Yeah,
I mean, everyone's entitled to play to their strength, and they did that. I think one thing I said to the players before the game was we played Notts County last week in that top two, and Forest Green at the other end of the league this week. But both teams would challenge us when they have their moments. They would challenge us in different ways, and don't underestimate the team. The point will be whether we keep our positional play, whether we take our chances, whether we just drive our performance through to do what's necessary, and we did that. So yeah, we did have to defend. They had a 15-20 minute spell first half. They were the better side first half, but we defended really well. They had a couple of half chances, yeah, but we used our half time really well, and I think made an immediate response in the 15 minutes after half time.
I won't ask you what you said at half time, but you made a change at half time. Was that enforced or was that a tactical change?
Ryan Harley was. I mean, the pitch is going to challenge the players physically, and Ryan Harley was just beginning to feel something, and just don't think it was a risk worth taking. Coupled with the fact we was talking after about, one, it was in our minds before the game, but we were talking within 10-15 minutes of the start of the game that this would be a good one for Carl, and I just took the opportunity. Ryan was feeling something in his legs, and it was a good opportunity for Carl.
And he took it, didn't he? Was involved in the two goals.
He did. He's improving, and he's contributing in all areas, and he's become a more all-action player, which surely that's probably the purpose of his visit down here to Devon over this season. He's becoming a more rounded player, and he showed that today in the second half.
This was one of your two games to hand against quite a lot of the teams that are at the top end of the table. Is it nice to have that ticked off with the 3 points?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an easy sort of I wouldn't say mistake, but it's certainly something we don't really want to do, slip into that, assessing the league table every Tuesday night, every Wednesday night, got games in hand, because one week we'll feel terribly grumpy, the next minute we'll feel elated, and that's not the way we need to do it. We've got 18 games to go now, whatever we've got left. It's about how many points we accumulate over those 18, and we just have to see that as a one game at a time, one half at a time, 1 minute at a time. And we shouldn't worry too much about what everyone else is doing. We know that if we win X amount of games, we'll get X amount of points, and that'll put us in with a really good chance of either the top 3 or the top 7 or whatever we think is achievable.
I'll ask you about Saturday, if that's okay, because I don't think you're doing presser before.
Of course,
then.
Yeah.
After playing a game today, so it's a short turnaround, but also on a pitch like this, how much was it about also just seeing people through and making sure they don't go off injured, like with Ryan Harley, for example? Well,
you have the dilemma. 2-0. It's not a comfortable scoreline. We had 2 or 3 players in that second half who were under some kind of stress physically, and you're thinking about Saturday, but actually what you need to do is get through this game and win this game first. And we resisted the temptation to take 1 or 2 off who would have ordinarily probably appreciated it, but it's about this game first, get this game won, and then move on to the next one. We have only got a few days to, and if this is a heavy pitch, we've got the players are straight in now to the cryotherapy unit. Ryan Brunt's business, which is a real plus for us this evening. So we'll be all the players. It's a mandatory request from me.
I'm sure they loved it after being out in the snow as well.
I'm not sure mandatory and request goes together, but it's mandatory. They're in there now. They're getting themselves very cold, and that's all part of, you know, recovering as quick as we can, ready for Saturday. The truth is, it's one less day. We'd rather not have the one less day, but it is what it is, and we'll make assessments now between now and probably Friday lunchtime as to who is ready to play and should play Saturday.
And just on the opponents on Saturday, Luton top of the table, doing well. How do you see them going into it? Top
of the table, doing well, have done well. Must be the favourites at the moment for the league, based on their position. There's a long way to go, and you know, I think we should be confident in what we do on Saturday, and we've got nothing to lose really. Today was a really important day for us. Saturday's, you know, it's a bonus Saturday, I think, and we have to go and play it that way.
Just finally, I think there's only an hour to go before the transfer window shuts. Are you pleased that January's kind of gone?
Yeah, well, it becomes a different environment all of a sudden. I made 3 or 4 weeks of inquiries and phone calls, and there were 2 or 3 players we tried to get, and it's not a case of a player being available and then us saying yes or no to it. There's so much surrounding any potential signing that this particular window we've ended up without. I mean, we've taken the 3 boys on loan, but other than that, we've missed out on quite a few. We've tried, and it's what happens sometimes. But we've got a very good squad, and really good squad, and it was only to add something here or there, but we've got a good squad, and I'll be glad that I'm even just coming now from the game. I've got text messages from agents saying, "Do you want to sign such and such?" I mean, crikey, I'm not sure how quickly think I can work. So, to all intents and purposes, I sort of about 2 o'clock this afternoon, I sort of switched off from that, and it's been one of those windows where you've looked all over the place, come very close, really close to signing 1 or 2 players, and it's not worked out. But I'm philosophical about it because I think we've got a really good squad of players.